Another day, another Maker Advent, and it's the penultimate Maker Advent of 2025. And I'm going to put something a bit different on today. 1980s, 1990s, PDAs were coming into their own. Personal digital assistants, basically digital file faxes for those who's old enough to remember what a file fax is. The precursor to your smartphone, where you have all your apps on your phone. You can just say, okay, my calendar's here, my contact list is here, I can do calculator functions, etc., etc. A PDA was something you carried with you, and it had all your details in. And going from really cheap ones, which I had, a Casio SF-4100, really cheap and cheerful. It worked. It had phone numbers in, it had details in. I always wanted a Psion. Now, Psion were like the creme de la creme of PDAs at the time. And I remember a lad at school bringing one in, probably 13 years old I was. And this marvellous machine came in, and it was a computer in your pocket. And I wanted one. The problem was, it was a couple of £100 in 1990s prices. That was way out of my league. Years have passed. I think about a year ago, 2 years ago now, I thought, yeah, I want one. Anyway, I did a how-to for Linux formats, RIP, where I emulated a Psion in a virtual machine. And yeah, I enjoyed it. So I got myself a Psion 3A. Here is that Psion 3A that I picked up in June, July last year, 2024. You'll notice it's connected with some wires. Why is that, Les? We're going to find out. Brilliant thing. You can program with it. You can do spreadsheets. You can do calendars, calculators. You can write on it. The keyboard isn't great. The 5 and the 5MX are the better keyboard. I did have a 5MX briefly. It died spectacularly. I got it for free as well. Now they're worth a fortune. Anyway, the 3A is great. I enjoy playing around. It's also cheap enough that you can pick them up on eBay pretty easily. So what's this all about? Well, you'll notice the background is Windows XP. That is Windows XP running in a virtual machine. And you'll also notice there's some software there called Psion Manager. And you'll also notice I've got the Psion connected using a myriad of contraptions and wires. So there's a Psion to the official, let's get the right way around. Now the 3-link, the Psion 3-link, that's an RS232 connection. There's one end of the Psion's cable. You can have 9-pin or 25-pin. That goes into a RS232 USB serial converter, which plugs into the computer, and it's now being seen in my virtual Windows XP. This is all in VirtualBox. What am I doing with it? Well, I've got some software written on this right now, some OPL software, which is the programming language that Psions use. The Psion OPL language is pretty simple to use, but if you've never come across it before, it does look a bit perplexing. So I'm going to show you what I've done here right now. I've got on Notepad this, which is called question.opl. So I'm naming a procedure, and I've called it maker just for easiness. And then I'm going to initialize a dialog box. This is going to say Maker Advent 2025. It's going to ask a question in text. Is today day 23 of Maker Advent? And you have 2 buttons to respond, yes or no. If you answer yes to the dialog, then it's going to say correct. And this is a new dialog box. It's going to say in the text that today is the penultimate day. There's a dialog. And it's the same for the else condition, but if you answer incorrectly, so is today day 23 for Maker Advent? No. Incorrect. That is the wrong answer. And dialog box. The if condition is ended. Go to open the if and close it. And then we just print to the screen, press any key to exit, and then we wait for the user to press a key. That's the get command. And then we end the procedure. That's it. So what I've done is I've loaded this code onto the Psion. So here is my desktop, and you can see there is question, and you can see on the Psion's B drive, it has 2 drives, one on the left, one on the right. A on the left, B on the right. It also has an internal drive. And A and B drives are really these solid state disks. Yes, SSDs. And I've got a few spare of these from eBay. Not cheap. And you can write your code directly onto these or the internal drive. If you use the internal drive, you've got limited space. So if you get these, you've got unlimited space because you can just buy more. Yeah, there's a flash drive and there's an SSD. So there is the code on the drive, and I can navigate through the drives. So you make it a connection to your Psion. Click on Psion link. My Psion's connected and it's waiting for a connection. And there we go. It's ready to go. Takes a little while to update. There we go. B drive's ready. And we're on B's Word document there. And there is my desktop. That's my Windows XP emulated machine desktop. So let's just create a very quick test file as a Word document. This is written live, not lie, don't lie. This is written live on Maker Advent Day 23. We'll save that as Day 23 to the desktop. And we'll save it as a .wrd file. There's Day 23. And if I just drag and drop, do I want to do that? Yes, I do. A little slow, it's serial, but it gets there. And now it's on the Psion. And if you look there is Day 23 and then B in brackets. And if I press enter on that, this is written live on Maker Advent Day 23. So we can send files across pretty easily. Anyway, let's have a look at the code. So the code that we just wrote, I'll run on the Psion live so we can see what happens. If I go back to my code, so there is the code. If I press menu and go to program and then translate, do you want to run the code? Yes. Is today day 23? Go on, focus. Yes or no? Well, yes, it is. Yes, today is the penultimate day. And we can press any key. So I can write code in Windows XP nice and easily, and then I can transfer it across to my Psion 3A and it'll run. And why do I do that? Because I enjoy writing OPL code, just like I do BASIC. And that's it for the penultimate day. Tomorrow is the final day of Maker Advent 2025. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? We'll soon find out. Alright, so see you later. Ta-da.